I have some reservations about the accuracy of certain parts of the police evidence. Unfortunately, they enter the arena of credibility under a cloud. The cloud that initially, each of them, knowingly, made a false allegation in their first written statements to the effect that they had seen a man armed with a rifle enter the hayshed. There was not a word of truth in this. It was not invented by them, but regrettably by one or more of their superiors who told them that they were obliged to say it. All three maintain at this trial that save for this single untruth and its embellishments, the remainder of their statements is a completely true account of what happened after they arrived at the hayshed. I have, however, in the light of the forensic evidence, some of the medical evidence and otherwise, doubts as to whether this is so. I believe the proper course for me at this trial is to exclude all the police evidence and its implications from my consideration and adjudication of the case. However, it remains my true conviction that the defendant was lying in denying possession of the rifle. Will the defendant please rise? Martin Macaulay, I find you guilty as charged on both counts of offences under the Firearms Act of 1981 and sentence you to 2 years in prison, suspended for 3 years.
So the hayshed was under surveillance at the time of the shooting?
It was, sir, yes.
Electronic surveillance?
There was a listening device in there, sir.
And you were monitoring the tapes when Ty and Macaulay were shot?
I was indeed, sir.
Right. Now, at the time of the shooting...
Excuse me, sir. Before we go any further, I've no objections to answering questions relating to my general duties on that day, but I must refuse to make any specific statement about the contents of that tape unless instructed to do so by my senior officers.
This is a Detective Chief Superintendent you're talking to here, Constable.
Under the terms of the Official Secrets Act, I'm not allowed to impart that information, sir. Can I go now, sir?
This is getting ridiculous. I cannot complete the investigation you brought me here to undertake unless you order your officers to allow me access to the tape.
May I ask what you expect to find from this?
I expect to be able to tell Mr. and Mrs. Ty why their son was shot. Will you authorize its release?
If such a tape, or the product of such a tape, were indeed to exist, then of course it wouldn't be mine to give.
Why ever not?
It would be the property of MI5.
Fine. I'll go and see MI5.
You do that, Mr. Stalker. That's all right with me.
And we should need your authorization to interview the Special Branch informant.
Why?
Because I have reason to believe that he's been acting as an agent provocateur.
Out of the question. That is entirely beyond the terms of your brief. He belongs to Special Branch.
Sir John, it's Special Branch we're here to investigate.
This is a matter of national security.
Well, perhaps I'm not making myself clear, Sir John. I should tell you that it will be my duty at the appropriate time to interview the most senior officers of the RUC, yourself included, under caution in connection with these matters. bloody picnic over here. But these men make their own laws. They're acting like a firm within a firm. All right. Now, 3 officers blown up at Kinnigo. Quite clearly, Special Branch went after the men they thought were responsible on no other evidence than the word of a paid informant. Their source gives them the names. So, for all we know, he even sets them up himself. Special Branch know in advance where and when these men can be found, so they send in some cowboy squad and blow them all to kick and come. Unfortunately for them, they turn out to have been unarmed. IRA or no IRA, at the moment these men died, they were no possible threat to anyone. So the branch, they doctor the evidence at the scene of the crime. They coach their men to lie to the CID. And then they all sit down and they concoct a version of the events fit for public consumption. And everybody goes along with it. Nobody raises a murmur. What I want to know is how high up it goes. They say it's policy. Well, God knows what that's supposed to mean. It's not Dixon of Dock Green we're dealing with here, you know. It's more like some despot from a banana republic. These men are totally out of control. Well, not any longer. No matter what the provocation, whatever the threat, the moment the police use the methods of the terrorist, they descend to the level of the terrorist. We can never allow the end to justify the means. We're in Northern Ireland to ensure the maintenance of the rule of law, just as we would on the mainland.
Operational strategies have, by necessity, concentrated on the use of inverted areas, so-called Charlie tangles.
Of course.